Testing 1 2 3. Hello, you guys. How you doing? We're gonna make another podcast today, and this one is gonna reflect on Bitcoin reaching critical mass. Okay. Now, there may be just a little bit of controversy or skepticism in terms of whether or not Bitcoin has actually arrived. But let's take a look at some of the indicators that Bitcoin has indeed been recognized to enough of an extent to where we could say we've reached critical mass. And by that I simply mean that, there's only so many Bitcoin out there, and considering that Bitcoin has sustained the test of time so far, putting in at least 11 years, going on 12, and going from less than a penny to approximately $48,000 per Bitcoin. This equals about almost a 9 million% increase. And we've heard lots of FUD. Bitcoin is not usable. They said Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. They said Bitcoin would never be adopted by a major financial institution. Bitcoin would never be recognized by a government agency. Bitcoin would never be acknowledged by the IRS. What else? I don't know. The Bitcoin mining was going to gobble up all the world's electricity. That was a prediction made in, 2015, was supposed to come true by 2018 or something like that. That didn't happen. But anyway, let's take a deeper dive into some of the specifics, and let's see between you and me whether or not you think Bitcoin has reached critical mass. Okay, for one, the mayor of Miami, I think his name is Francis Suarez, has determined that it's a good idea to set up Miami, Florida, as the next Bitcoin-friendly city. Okay? The equivalent of having a Silicon Valley replicated outside of Silicon Valley. So what he's doing is he's making Miami one of the more attractive destinations for Bitcoin-friendly companies and people. So he's passed legislation that allows employees to get paid in Bitcoin if they so choose. In addition to that, you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin if you want. And so, now you can travel, relocate to Miami personally or with your business, and knowing full well that you're now are going to be in a Bitcoin-friendly environment. Okay? So that's Miami, and then you can go over to Wyoming. They have more of an infrastructure already in place with their Bitcoin-friendly banks and such, and they were the original state pioneering major legislation to get Bitcoin recognized as property, so that you can know full well that you can pay little, if any, taxes on your Bitcoin-related ventures and activities, while at the same time not worrying about AML and KYC and all these things hampering your Bitcoin-related activities. So, and then we have to take a look at institutions like PayPal offering Bitcoin to its 300 million customers. You can trade Bitcoin on their platform to your heart's content and not worry about some shady institution making off with your money or closing your account because they didn't comply with the government regulations. PayPal has a very, very good and knowledgeable army of lawyers that works with United States regulatory bodies and agencies to make sure they're in full compliance. So trade to your heart's content on PayPal's platform, all the cryptos you want. And for your merchants out there who want to offer Bitcoin as a payment, you can use MasterCard. At some point, you'll click on, customers will click on the drop down for the payment options, and one of them will be Bitcoin, for instance, and later there'll be others, but you'll be able to specify that you want to pay for your goods and services through MasterCard using Bitcoin. So that's a major accomplishment. MasterCard only has 900 million to a billion credit card holders, and probably 50 to 60 million merchants. And they're one of the largest issuers on the planet. So you are now going to be able to purchase anything imaginable using your MasterCard. And Visa's not far behind, so between the two of them, you can know full well, rest assured that pretty much anything imaginable you'll be able to purchase with your MasterCard and your Visa credit cards. In addition to that, the oldest bank on the planet, Bank of Mellon, New York, they have assets under management are like, I don't know, $8-9 trillion or more minimum. Okay, that number is probably really understated. I have to look at the actual numbers, but they're the largest institution, perhaps the most conservative, because they are the oldest. I'm sorry, they're the oldest, not the largest, but they have significant assets under management and very conservative profile in terms of the way they operate. But they've determined that because of customer demand, that it's in their best interest to meet that demand with Bitcoin. So they want to custody your Bitcoin at Bank Mellon of New York. And also Morgan Stanley is now not only going to be investing, because right now they're investing directly in Bitcoin. They own 5 to 10% of a company called MicroStrategy, which has a significant Bitcoin exposure, 80-90% at MicroStrategy, and a number of companies, Blackstone included, in addition to Bank of Mellon of New York. They want to not only offer custodial services, but they want to invest through into a MicroStrategy and get an indirect play on Bitcoin. So between those 2, 3, 4 accomplishments, these are rather significant. And now some of the other things that indicate we're reaching critical mass, for instance, is just the number of Bitcoins that are available for purchase as compared to before. Now we have certain companies that are just committed to buying up all the Bitcoin on the various from the miners. As a miner, buy Bitcoin on your own, or you can have your customers, if you're a merchant, have your customers pay you to so that you'll have Bitcoin, right? You can purchase it on your own, or you can allow me to give you Bitcoin for a product or for a service. So there's a number of ways of getting Bitcoin, like I mentioned, in addition to investing in a company like MicroStrategy, or even some of the Bitcoin mining stocks, Riot Blockchain, Marathon, you name it. There's more and more companies that are purchasing Bitcoin on their balance sheets, and they're becoming